Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Ballabha Girivardhari Gopijana Ballabha Girivardhari Jasura Nandana Braja Janaranjano Jasura Nandana Braja Janaranjano Jamunatira Bonachari Jamunatira Bonachari Jaya Dada Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Ballabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjano Jashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjano Jashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjano Ho! Jamunatira Bonachari Jamunatira Bonachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. You want to dance? Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare. Hey Janardhan, come to class. Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Sri Radha Madhava ki Sri Radha Giridhari ki srimadbhagavatam ki Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajika Jaja Shodhara Srimad His Divine Grace of Charana Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajika Jaja Shodhara Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Gaudi Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Kantaraj ki Jai Samveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, CC Guru and Siddhi Gauranga. Govinda Hari. Govinda Hari. It's the microphone. It's not my bones yet. Soon, one day it will be my bones. Okay, those work. So this morning, reading from the srimadbhagavatam. It's interesting. There we go. Oh my goodness. Here we go. It's text 9 this morning, 4th canto, chapter 17. What's the title of this chapter? Gets angry at the earth. Okay. Is this water vintage? Yesterday was a good day. Now, if it's from the last time I gave class, we'd have to have a few questions about this one. So, text 9. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Here's the Sanskrit. Maitreya Vacha. Yada Bhishikta Prituranga Viprar. Amantrito Janatayas Chapalaha. Brajanirane Kshiti Prishta Etya. Kshut Deha Patam Abhyavochan. Maitreya Vacha. Yada Bhishikta Prituranga Viprar. Amantrito Janatayas Chapalaha. Brajanirane Kshiti Prishta Etya. Kshut Deha Patim Abhyavochan. Maitreya Vacha. Yada Bhishikta Prituranga Viprar. Amantrito Janatayas Chapalaha. Brajanirane Kshiti Prishta Etya. Kshut Deha Patim Abhyavochan. Anyone like to chant? Maitreya Vacha. Yada Bhishikta Prituranga Viprar. Amantrito Janatayas Chapala. Prajanirane Kshiti Prishta Etya. Kshut Deham Patim Abhyavochan. Maitreya Vacha. Yada Abhishikta Prataranga Viprar Amantrito Janatayascha Prajanirannekshiti Prishta Etya Kshutkshamadeha Patimabhyavochan. Anyone else? Majaya Vaja Yada Abhishikta Prataranga Viprar Amantrito Janatayascha Palaha Brajanirannekshiti Prishtetya Kshutkshamadeha Pitamabhyavochan. The best of the scribes. Maitreya Vaja Yada Abhishikta Prataranga Viprar Amantrito Janatayascha Palaha Prajanirannekshiti Prishtetya Kshutkshamadeha Patimabhyavochan. Want to chant? Maitreya Vacha Yada Abhishikta Prataranga Viprar Amantrito Janatayascha Palaha Prajanirannekshiti Prishtetya Kshutkshamadeha Patimabhyavochan. Synonyms. Maitreya Vacha. The great sage Maitreya said, Yada, when Abhishikta was enthroned, Prituhu, King Prithu, Anga, my dear Vidura, Viprayar, by the Brahmanas, Amantritaha, was declared, Janataya, of the people, Cha, also, Palaha, the protector, Prajaha, the citizens, Nirane, being without food grains, Kshiti Prishte, the surface of the globe, Etya, coming near, Kshut, by hunger, Kshama, skinny, Deha, their bodies, Patim, to the protector, Abhyapochan, they said, open the door. Oh, I said it. I said it. You got some air in here, right? Cross breeze here. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, at the time King Prithu was enthroned by the great sages and brahmanas and declared to be the protector of the citizens, there was a scarcity of food grains. The citizens actually became skinny due to starvation. Therefore they came before the king and informed him of their real situation. Please repeat. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, at the time King Prithu was enthroned by the great sages and brahmanas and declared to be the protector of the citizens, there was a scarcity of food grains. The citizens actually became skinny due to starvation. Therefore they came before the king and informed him of their real situation. Purport. Information is given herein concerning the selection of the king by the brahmanas. According to the Varnashram system, the brahmanas are considered to be the heads of the society and therefore to be situated in the topmost social position. The Varnashram Dharma, the institution of 4 Varnas and 4 ashrams, is very scientifically designed. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Varnashram Dharma is not a man-made institution, but is God-made. In this narration, it is clearly indicated that the brahmanas used to control the royal power. When an evil king like Vena ruled, the Brahmanas would kill him through their Brahminical powers and would select a proper ruler by testing his qualifications. In other words, the Brahmanas, the intelligent men or great sages, would control the monarchical powers. Here we have an indication of how the Brahmanas elected King Prithu to the throne as the protector of the citizens. The citizens, being skinny due to hunger, approached the king and informed him that necessary action should be taken. The structure of the Varnashram Dharma was so nice that the Brahmanas would guide the head of state. The head of state would then give protection to the citizens. The Kshatriyas would take charge of protecting the people in general, and under the protection of the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas would protect the cows, produce food grains, and distribute them. Shudras, the working class, would help the higher three classes by manual labor. This is the perfect social system. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksulun Minitam Dena Taismai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchika Padru Bhashya Kripa Sindhu Bheva Chapatitanam Bhavani Bhyo Vaishnavi Bhyo Namo Namaha Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So with your blessings and good wishes, I'll try to say a few words. Bo Bo. Allah. So speak a little bit about Varnashram. The Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada is referring to this verse from the 4th chapter, text 13. This Chaturvayamaya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhaga Saha Tasya Kartaram Apimam Vidya Kartaram Avyayam. According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. So Prabhupada says in the purport, Krishna has created the system. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So, this is important to understand that, and we'll speak a little bit more about the qualities of the different orders of life and so on. But what is the best social system? Right? What's the best social system? People are asking that over and over again. Now we have they're moving into the elections and all the different debates and people running for office in our demon-crazy system, democracy. And the politicians are promising all kinds of their idea of what a good system would be, how to solve this problem, how to solve that problem, we need to do this, we need to do that, and so on. But it seems that nothing is working, right? It seems nothing is working. They have so many artificial ideas how society should be organized and for peace and prosperity. So devotees are concerned about the peace and prosperity of society because when society is peaceful and prosperous, it's easier for people to be engaged in self-realization. And also, just like in the government, you have this one department called the, what is it called? All the prisons and everything. Correctional systems and, and even a good government, they make relatively nice facilities for the prisoners. It's not like the old days where you're just thrown into a dungeon and you're rotted, got leprosy and then died or something. In fact, they do these, I read this one article, or I think it was a class actually, when the Maharaj was giving a class. They've done studies that in Europe, they have certain countries in Europe, they, actually it's in a Muslim country. That's what it is. It's Muslim law. That when you go to prison, the government actually takes care of your family while you're in prison. And all kinds of facilities are given. And actually there's a thing about in Europe also. The point being that the criminals, when they go into a system like that, when they come out, the percentage of those who then go straight become law-abiding citizens is extremely high. Whereas in our system, it's set up in such a way where people come out, what do they call that? They just become criminals again and go back in. They just go back in. When they're not treated very nicely, there's no facility. Yeah. So, but the point I'm making is that a good government, even in a system like that, which is what's that? That's a correctional system. That's for the criminals and thieves and those who disturb society. They're even treated nicely. So the point I'm making is that this material world is like the prison house, jailhouse of Krishna's creation. But even so, Krishna maintains everyone nicely. There's a nice arrangement in nature. And he's also set up human society in such a way where if you follow the natural laws, which he set up, which is called varnashram, a natural system, because it's just based upon one's guna and karma. We all have a guna and a karma. What's guna mean? Do you know, Janardhan? Guna, karma. Modes or qualities. Yeah. Modes or qualities. And karma, your actions, how you act. So those we all have those. So, and there's basically you look and you can analyze it. You don't have to be in India, but all over the world in every single human society you'll have these four classes, of the intellectuals, of the administrators, of those who like to do commerce and business, and then everyone else, whether it's artisans or different. I mean, most of society is supporting the other classes with all kinds of varieties of services and work and artisans and writers and this and that and so on. That's just natural. You see it. Whatever you want to call it, you can call it. Just like in Europe hundreds of years ago, they call it the estates. There were three of them: the clergy, the royalty, and everyone else. Just everyone else. It wasn't divided into the mercantile and this is everyone else. They were called estates. And it's interesting, the point I wanted to bring up, the main part of the class, and I'll segue into it right now, is even in Europe it was understood, in the Vedic culture it was understood, the main thing is the person's quality. It wasn't money. Just like today, we are divided by money. How do you know someone's high class? They got a lot of money. And then you got the upper class. What does upper class mean? Income. It's not like good qualities. Then you got the middle class, right? And then you got lower classes and, whatever. Do they call them low class? What do they call it? You're not allowed to say that. Poverty, right? Or below middle class or lower middle class or poverty line. They talk about the poverty line, below it or just above it, struggling, like that. But it's all economics. That's how they divide it up. It's economics. You could be in the upper class and have all bad qualities. You can be in the poverty-stricken person and have all good qualities, and you're considered a non-important member of society. But in Vedic culture, and even I remember hearing this lecture about the estates, it wasn't economic. You could be a small king with just a little bit of property. Didn't really matter. You didn't have a lot of property. Or you could be a very well-to-do Brahmin or intellectual or clergy. Or you could be a clergy who has very, very little money at all, but it was based upon your qualities, your good qualities. That meant you were actually high society or cultured. That's the word, let's say. That's the word, is cultured. It's based upon your qualities as a human being. How well you develop the finer qualities as a human being. That's what made a person like that. That was the most important qualifications. And that's the Vedic system also. And therefore we say guna karma vibhaga saha, your qualifications and your work. Now in the Bhagavad Gita, we'll read these first and maybe have a little time for some more discussion. In the Bhagavad Gita, what chapter is it? Do you know, Jamal, where Krishna explains the qualities of the four orders, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras? Do you know off the top of your head? Okay. Janardhan, do you know? What chapter in the Bhagavad Gita does Krishna explain the qualities of the four orders of life, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra? Okay. Balaram.
Well, I was thinking 17, but considering that you said very quietly 8.
So you're going to go with Dravida? Place your bets with Dravida. It's a good idea. especially when it comes to verses. Yes. 42 is the first one. Samodamastapa socham kshantam arjam evaja jnana viganamastikam brahma karma subhavajam. See, these are the qualities of a Brahmin. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. It says here natural qualities. Just by nature, that's just their nature. They're very, very peaceful. They're not agitated. They're easy for them to control their senses. They enjoy austerities like that. And the purity in body, mind, and words. They're very tolerant. Material world is a place where there's always agitation like that. But a Brahmin is very, very tolerant. And that's a symptom. Very, very tolerant. One reason is he understands that whatever inconvenience may be coming my way, I deserve it. He believes in karma and the Supreme Lord and Supreme Justice. And he's just tolerant. And he also is just very tolerant of others, understanding that we all have our flaws and this and that and the other thing, and doesn't get so upset. Actually, he tolerates inconveniences to himself, but he is intolerant when the Lord or other devotees or things just aren't right. He is intolerant about those things. So the toleration doesn't mean you're just what me worry. You know who that is? Right, Dravida? What me worry? Yes, Alfred Newman. Okay. If you're a little younger, you don't know about that person, but Alfred E. Newman. What me worry? That was his mantra. Honesty, knowledge, wisdom, religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. Okay, then you have Kshatriyas, Suryam Tejo Titiya Daksham Yudhe Chapilayanam Dhanam Ishwara Bhavascha Kshantaram Karma Subhavajam. This is a Kshatriya administrator. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas. And then this 44 is both the Vaishyas and the Sudras. Krishi Gorakshavani Jam Vaishakaram Subhava Jam Parichayatmakam Karma Sudrasyapi Subhava Jam. Farming, cow protection, and business are the natural work for the Vaishyas, and for the Sudras there are labor and service to others. Now, it's noted in the different Dharma Shastras, and I imagine it's brought up in the Bhagavatam and different Puranas also, that these last two verses talk more about the kind of work, but not the some of the qualities are there. But it's actually understood that every single order, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, they're actually all meant to cultivate Brahminical qualities, the goodness, because everyone's supposed to be cultivating goodness and gradually going upwards, 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 back home, back to Godhead. Or you can say the heavenly planets, but everyone's supposed to be getting better and better and better. What do they call it now? Self-help, the self-help movement, upward mobility. Like that. People are life is supposed to be a self-improvement project. Why is that? Kalo Sudra Sambhava. What does that mean? Do you know that verse? Kalo Sudra Sambhava. Yeah, we're all born Sudra, unless there's some purificatory or something. We're all born Sudras. So there's education. We're supposed to be educated to become better and better and better and better. You know, sometimes people, they criticize that when people graduate from high school or college, they think their education is over. Whew, I'm done. But actually, that schooling is supposed to teach us to make the rest of our life a project of education and becoming better and better and better, and always learning, always learning, always learning. That's actually a symptom of anyone who's bright, is they're always trying to learn more and more about life, about their work, how to be a better person, really everything. Nothing goes on hold, and definitely nothing starts deteriorating like that. So these are symptoms of an advanced society and an advanced person. But it's interesting to note that these qualities of the Brahminical qualities, every order in life is supposed to have these or be developing these. It comes easy for those who are Brahminical, and they're very much manifest in a Brahminical person. But everyone else is supposed to have these. One can't say, hey, you know, I'm just a Sudra. I don't have to be honest. I don't have to be cultivating knowledge or religiousness or austerity. Everyone is meant to be engaged in these different types of activities to lesser or greater degrees according to their ability and so on. So in this particular verse, it's described that the Brahmins, what is the cutoff time, official cutoff time for class? 25? I mean, everything's over. Questions, everything. When am I supposed to stop talking? Oh, so I should definitely stop in 5 minutes. Okay. So in the purport here, it's described how the Varnashram was set up that the Brahmins actually, you could say, were in charge, in the sense they oversaw the activities of the Kshatriyas. In other words, it's like the head. Our head is supposed to guide our body, because that's the example given, and it's also there in the Vedas, how the different orders of life came from different parts of Lord Vishnu's body. The head, the Brahmins and Manas from the head, the Kshatriyas from the arms, the Vaishyas from the stomach, Sudras from the legs. So it's a social body, it's described. So the head is, you need all the parts of your body, but if there's one part you really need, it's your head. Because when the head goes, you're gone. So that's why they used to behead people. Then it's over. It's completely over. Like that. I remember Pavamana saying he went and visited the Tower of London. And you go there, and on the floor there they have all the places they buried people's heads, because that's where they used to chop off their heads, these little stones there. Hare Krishna. Nice memorial. Like that. So, but you need your head, because the head guides. We need to be guided by the intelligence and the head. So the Brahmanas were those who were supposed to be very, very intelligent. Intelligent meaning understanding and revelation of what it says in the scriptures, because the scriptures are the guidebooks of mankind, like that. Shastra means good instruction. And they would keep things in check, making sure that the Kshatriyas, who were easily overcome by the mode of passion, and sometimes if someone's in the mode of passion, they don't do what's right. They do what's expedient, or sometimes self-aggrandizement, or, that's what happens. So you need someone to keep an eye on things. Even in our government today, I guess that's what the cabinet is supposed to be, isn't it? Why advisors of different areas of whether it's the cabinet is interior or foreign affairs or this or that, the president is supposed to. Right. Congress. Okay. So there's supposed to be some intelligent people that just keeping an eye on things. But when no one's intelligent, what happens? Woohoo! So, yeah. So, and also it is ascribed here that in the purport that enthroned by the great sages and brahmanas and declared to be the protector of the citizens. So in other words, Prabhupada makes the point that the Brahmins need to find out who's going to be a good leader and put that person in there. Who's good, you need to find out. Right, that's just natural. Whatever you have something going on, you try to find out. Just like employers, they spend a lot of money trying to find the right employee. Or someone to run a company. Just like my oldest daughter works for a biotech company, and she's been there 10 years, and she's been through 3 or 4 CEOs. Because they have an international board, and that board decides who's going to run the company. They need someone who's like a cutting edge, this and that experience, or whatever. So every year they have these meetings, and all of a sudden gone. They're just very, very, they know they don't run it. They're just boards, and they're paid a lot of money for their knowledge of the whole industry of biotech and this and that. And they just sometimes like to go, this one's got to go, that one's got to go, this, that, move this, do this. And then all decisions are made, and everyone screams and yells, and this gets cut, that gets moved, but that's what happens. So that's just part of it. You need someone intelligent to guide where we're going. So that's what the Brahmins would do. And then step aside. It's not that their fingers always in the till. Is that what the word is? Hands in the like that. And that was Shukracharya's criticism of him. As soon as he heard or figured out that Vamanadeva was going to take everything from Bali Maharaj, he started like panicking, because his maintenance would be gone He was concerned his maintenance would be gone. In other words, Bali Maharaj, he loses the whole kingdom. I'm unemployed. No more chapatis, rice and dal, or whatever. I'm no longer the great king. Bali Maharaj is Brahmin, court Brahmin. So he started becoming very, very concerned. And the opposite of that would be, an example would be Chanakya Pandit. It's described that Chanakya Pandit was giving advice to Maharaj Chandragupta, and at one time Maharaj Chandragupta challenged him, didn't want to listen to him, so he just walked away. And even while he was administrating or giving advice, it says he lived in a little hut outside the palace. He wasn't in a big room and this and that. Oh, I'm the king's personal pundit and so on. He lived a very austere life. And as soon as Maharaj Chandragupta disagreed with him, he said, okay, I guess you don't need my advice anymore, and he just left. Unattached. Unattached. Now we have to be unattached in order to give good advice. And one example given today is just like in academia, the so-called learned people, the professors and so on, they can't speak their mind if they disagree with the policies of the school or society or what's popular now. If you mention, for instance, if you mention God in your class in a positive way, you're fired. If you mention God in a negative way, you're considered, oh, this is very intelligent, right? If you speak atheism or something like that, oh, very good. But if you happen to say you believe in God, or there's some indication of saying the benefits of having faith and belief in God, then your position actually comes into question. What are you talking to these students about for? We all know that's like that. But if you can speak all year long about atheism, and that's just fine. So it's interesting that they can't be neutral. They can't be. Otherwise they lose their job. They lose their job. So the Brahmins have to be neutral and give direction, and then and not to be attached. Not to be attached. Like that. And then the king, you pick a good king, then he helps the citizens, and that's what the chapter we're getting into now. There's a problem. Oh, there's a problem. There's always a problem. Right? As soon as you put two people together, I mean, one person there's problems. If you have two people, there's problems. Three people. The more people you have, guess what? The more problems. Also, the more things can be accomplished and so on. But there's challenges when you have a lot of people, when you have a whole country, whole society. So there's a problem here that's being, the king is being informed of, that there's no food. Like that. We don't have that problem in New Govardhan, do we? Aniur, there's never a problem. In fact, there's always a problem of too much sometimes, right? Giridhari is very, very kind. But can you imagine there's no food? Like that. Janardhan's very skinny, wasting away. Like that. He's coming, please, prabhu, there's no food. Like that. What to do? Trividala floats away. But it's very serious when there's no food. The basic facility in life is that there has to be anna, food, right? The government has to provide employment and food, and like that, and that will all come out in the subsequent verses. So we have 2 minutes for questions and answers, or at least the questions. I don't know if I can give the answers. Okay.
It was just a comment. I found this verse kind of verifying what you were saying about Ojavida Prabhu in terms of the upward mobility of the social orders. And you were talking about one thing you had mentioned was you can't use the excuse, oh, I'm a Shudra, so I have all these bad qualities. You can't use that as an excuse. So I found this verse in Bhagavatam where it lists the qualities of a Shudra, but they're actually, a lot of them are quite good qualities. I'll read the verse. It says, offering obeisances to the higher sections of society, the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, being always very clean, being free from duplicity, serving one's master, performing sacrifices without uttering mantras, not stealing, always speaking the truth, and giving all protection to the cows and brahmanas. These are the symptoms of a Shudra.
Yes.
So some of them are pretty good qualities.
I mean, there are those outside of the Varnashram, Panchama and lower Chandals and so on. That's one thing. But inside the Varnashram, beginning with the Sudras, Bhaktivedanta Purna Maharaj in one class, he said the Sudras are like he gave one example. He said they're just like a British butler, an English butler. You know how prim and proper. They're servants, but they're taught to be very, very respectful and like that. All good qualities. But they're servants. But they have so many good qualities. They speak very nicely. They're very meticulous and clean and do their like that. It's not like, hey, get it yourself. like that. They're very, very like that. That was one example he gave. Try to understand what it means to be a Sudra. Just it doesn't mean you're just a low class. That's outside or below. Yes?
Because no matter what service you do, it could be, looks like I was sweeping the floor there, the front. And I was kind of lamenting I was missing the kirtan because I liked the part of the kirtan. So I was chanting, I couldn't hear the melody, but I was still chanting my own melody of Hare Krishna out there. So that part of not chanting mantras, that doesn't apply in bhakti. You should always chant that mantra, no matter what service you do.
Yes, yes.
And then you'll naturally rise to your natural level, whatever it may be.
So that may come up over the next few verses and so on. It's a discussion about Daivi Varnashram in our, like that. But anything else? Balaram? So we can end here. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prithu Maharaj, rescuing the citizens ki jai.